Good morning everyone, it's Vicky here. I hope you are well. So this is possibly my favourite Halloween card I've made so far. So I just want to show you. So this is a 5 3/4 by 4 card blank. I've used this My Favourite Thing paper pad to just line that with this gorgeous little sweetie paper. I'll be using the Boo Crew from My Favourite Things stamp set. And then I've also got, and I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do next, my Flipping Awesome die. So this is a Lawn Fawn Flipping Awesome die. So I've cut one of the main plate, and it comes with all the little backing squares, which I've cut out of some more of that My Favourite Things paper. And it also has the little scalloped edge ones, which I've cut from my stamping card. And then I've cut a banner from this lovely bright pink, just a card scrap that I had lurking around. And then they've also got the Flippin' Awesome add-on. So I've cut the scalloped one in the pink and then the backing plate in the black. And then I've cut the little pull tab in black and in pink, so I can layer that up to make a really cute little pull tab to go on there as well. So that's everything that I've kind of done prep-wise. As I say, this is going to be a 10-fold opening cute little card. So I'm just going to put that to the side because I don't need to work on that bit right now. So the first thing I need to do is do my stamping. So as I say, this is the Boo Crew from My Favourite Things. So I'm actually going to stamp out one of each of the cute little characters. So the witch, the Frankenstein, the Dracula, and the mummy. Yeah, if that was the right one. I had to really think about that there. So as I say, these little scalloped edges are done on my Nina cardstock, and I'm just using one of my stamping blocks to do this. I just need one image on each, and I'm not doing mass producing, so I don't really need to use my MISTI for this. So I'm just lining those up to stamp those down. Some of this is a bit sped up, some of it I think might be at standard speed, but just kind of going with the flow with producing this. So I'm just gonna do this stamping. These images literally fit in pretty nicely into the little squares, just to kind of fill it up. They don't need to overlap. You'll see there's just my baby wipes. That's what I use to clean down my stamps. Just generally, they are scent-free, alcohol-free baby wipes, so as far as I'm aware, they're not doing any damage to my stamps. A lot of people use baby wipes. Obviously, if they start to do anything dodgy to my stamps, I will stop using them. But as far as it goes for now, they're absolutely fine. So we can do the little mummy next, I think. The first time I stamped these stamps, I didn't dare use them because I thought it was a lot of what I thought would be white. But I have worked out how to colour him now so that it's not a load of white and it looks really nice, and he's kind of becoming one of my favourites out of this little set. I think he's super cute, I'm not gonna lie. And then the next one, once I've got that stamp off there, that I'm going to do is going to be this cute little witch. She's the only one who even remotely could have been too big, and that's just purely because she's got a big pointy hat on her head. But she does fit just nicely into that scalloped square as well. I do like that the dies do come with all the different options for layering. So you've got the scalloped option, but there is also just a plain stitched square that can go inside the main backing squares as well, which I really like, depending on what kind of a look that you're going for. And then the last one is the little Frankenstein. For this, I did debate ink blending the backgrounds on these little white squares, but because everything else was going to be quite so colourful, I decided that I'd quite like the idea of just having a little bit of a plainer background so that the little guys popped out of there. So the next section is the colouring. This is definitely sped to double for you guys because I don't want you guys to have to watch me colour 4 little images very slowly. So this is the dull green I'm using for Frankenstein's face. The joy with these images is they do colour quite quickly anyway because they are quite diddy and little. so that's always good. I'm just obviously trying to pick out where I feel like the darker bits will be now. With this green, I've found that if I put a layer down of it all in the lightest possible colour, it tends to then blend nicer when I do the rest of my blending. And with it being a green and it being his full face, I wanted to try and make sure I got a nice, pretty smooth blend on that. So I just need to do his legs and his arms as well. I did debate the Alpine green, but it was a bit too tree-ish. This looked more Frankensteinish to me, not gonna lie. And then I'm using the True Blue shades, sorry that went a bit blurry when I was trying to show you that, to do his jeans, because obviously it is a little kid in costume. He's wearing his jeans because that's what kids tend to wear. I also use the blue to colour in the other boys' jeans because they're all wearing jeans. It was the decision that I made. So Dracula needs some blue jeans. And I think underneath the mummy's bandages I even put some blue jeans on him, if my memory is correct. So we'll just do the jeans. I apologise if I sound a little bit hoarse. I've woke up with a bit of a scratchy throat this morning. It's not sore or anything. I think it's just, once it gets to this time of year, my voice does have a habit of going a little bit, so I may sound quite husky on some of these videos, and I do apologise in advance. So then next I'm using the True Black. This is just a standard Spectrum Noir. It's not one of my tri-blends. Just to do the black hair on the boys. So just on Frankenstein and on Dracula. The witch and the mummy get different hair colour. And yes, there is some hair I'm going to have poking through all the bandages on the mummy, because obviously he wrapped himself in bandages, and you can't get a perfect wrap when you're what looks to be about 6 is how old I've decided these guys all look. That's my official decision. They've still got really cute little round faces, so that's a 6. This is the Ice Grey shades. I do apologise, I'm so sorry guys. The Ice Grey shades, so that is for the shoes, and everybody has ice grey shoes on because Mummy and Daddy made everyone buy nice pretty school shoes, and that's what they've decided to wear with their costumes because they just did. They're not trainers, the nice black shoes. Yeah, that's just the decision I took with it. And then I'm also using the lighter shade just for the little bolts on Frankenstein's head as well. I'm using the orange blend for Frankenstein's top. It's a really nice bright orange. It's a very Halloween-y colour, and I feel like Frankenstein would wear an orange Halloween coloured top. My personal opinion on the matter. And then I'm also going to use the orange for some of the stripes on Dracula's top. So I'm just using one colour on the sleeves, and then I'm doing just a quick 2 colour blend on the stripes because they are very thin and not very wide either, so I wouldn't have got as much of a blend onto those. And then the other colour I'm using is the light green blend. So again, I'm just using the darker shade on the sleeves and then doing a 2 colour blend for his the stripes going around his belly. And then I've decided that the mummy is also going to be wearing a green top in there. So I'm just deciding which bits are going to be bandage and which bits are going to be top. Just to colour those bits that I think are going to be banded top in the green rather. So just get those in there. I think once you get them all coloured in, it looks quite effective having the lines. So there we go. And then this is the Fair Skin blend. So apart from Frankenstein, they're all just going to have the Fair Skin blend on their faces. So it's just a quick, oh, and the hands, let's not forget the hands, for those of those who have their hands visible. So with it being obviously a face, it's spherical, so I just tend to go around the edges with the darker colour and fade to the lightest. And I'm going to use the dark red blend for his cape. I quite often do him with a really dark, like, I use the ice greys to do his cape normally, but I feel like I've seen someone do his cape red recently, and I can't remember who, and I'm really, really sorry if it was you, and thank you very much for the idea if it was you. And I quite like the idea of having like a red cape just to make it a little bit brighter and a little bit more colourful. And my dad had a Dracula costume, and the inside of his cape was red. The outside was black, but the inside was red, and obviously it's the inside we can see, so that's kind of where I'm going with that one. Back to my little guy here. So he's going to have a red little trick-or-treat bucket. He's actually the only one carrying one. Evidently he's the only one who cares about the sweets. The rest just wanted to dress up. And then the earth brown shades is what I'm going to use to do his hair. Because it's between the bandages, it's just getting a quick little 2-colour shade, I think. Or did I just fill it in? I can't remember now. Yeah, I just filled it in because it was teeny tiny spaces, and obviously I've gone back to fair skin to do his face. If my memory serves, when I actually coloured this in, I forgot to do the bit around his chin, so I will come back and colour that bit in before I do his bandages. Yeah, I forgot to do his chin. So I'm going to do her hands and her face and her neck. Just trying to go around all that hair because I don't want to accidentally colour that in, because that would be bad. And then there's her neck. And then the next colour I'm getting out is the purple blend. It's my go-to blend for witches outfits. I think I've done one where I did the witch's outfit in pink, but apart from that, I tend to do it in purple. I don't know why, but I just feel like little girls' witches' costumes, purple's a great colour, so that it's not just black. So we'll just do the shading on that for her. Just obviously in the standard shading spots. Don't know if you can hear that wind outside either. We live right on the river, so it kind of makes a bit of a wind tunnel coming down. It's quite a nice sound, actually. I quite like it. And then I've just grabbed that black back out just to do the band on her hat and her collar. And then I'm using the burnt orange blend to do her hair. This is kind of my go-to ginger hair colour, because it gives a really nice kind of more like an auburny red than just bright orange, which I do really like. It's kind of almost similar to my hair colour. Maybe mine's a bit browner now. The older I've got, the more brown it's gone. I used to be like the colour of Frankenstein's top at one point when I was a kid, I think. But not anymore. It's grown into a more, or like a burnt orangey mane, not maize. My hair is not maize. So this is just the yellow gold, or the brown gold. I totally missed which one that was. Hopefully you saw when I flashed it up for you guys. I don't know how to rewind my recording, and I'm not starting it from the beginning again, so I'm hoping you caught that. And this is the earth brown blend that I'm just going to use to do her stick, the stick of the broom. It's just a 1 shade deal with that because it's quite complicated. So this is the brown grey blend, and then also just my plain blender. So what I do is I colour in the bandages just with the blender to lay down some ink, like some alcohol ink, just some alcohol really, and then I do the lighter shade of the brown and the brown grey, and then blend it back out again, and it just adds a bit of colour, but very, very, very faint, and some shading to the bandages, just so they don't look just stark white, so you can see a difference especially where they meet the white background. I have noticed by this point, I think, that I haven't done his chin in the skin colour, so I will come back and do that once I've finished all my bandages on him. As you can see, when he's got his claws poking through, it just looks, I think, extra cute having the claws poking through, because it is just like he's wrapped himself up, and it's just adorable, bless him. And then let's just colour his chin in. There we go. Ta-da! Much better. So that's all of the images pretty much done. Just a quick colouring of his sweets in his pail so that they're not empty. and then it's putting together time. So this is the main Flippin' Awesome die. So I'm just folding and burnishing all of the score lines. So those two just get folded one way. The excuse me, the 4 main lines, you need to fold and burnish both ways, just to give them a bit more bendiness. I've used 300 GSM cardstock. I think next time I do another one of these, I might use slightly thinner cardstock, just because this is quite stiff. I mean, it does still work. I've had great fun playing with it since I finished making it. It's now in an envelope to go in the post, so I can't play with it anymore. But it does work, but obviously because it's thicker cardstock, it doesn't flow quite as much as it possibly could, I think. So I'm going to see which other cardstocks I've got in my stash for the next one that I make. And then the next thing I need to do is stick down these flaps. What I should have done is put the little people onto them before I stuck them down. Lesson learned. So this first one, I'm just fully covering that panel in my glue stick, and then that panel there literally fits perfectly onto there. And then it's just each one of these lines you need to put some tape down and then stick the image to that. So the first one's stuck down totally flat, then that one is stuck down just for the 1/2 inch or so where the tape is, because obviously this is where your main mechanism for this is. So then you just keep going with those, and you'll see I faff around a little bit to try and make sure they're perfectly centered. I'm not going to pretend that this card came out completely perfect, but it is still my favourite one that I've made, and I'm super pleased with it, and I think it is really, really cute. And I really, really love it. So that bit's done. So the next bit I want to do is to, using my pin flare glue, stick down these little guys onto the images. I didn't really make much of a decision. The only thing that I had decided was that Frankenstein needed to go onto an orange square because he has obviously a green face, so I didn't want too much green on any one of the tabs. But apart from that, that was pretty much kind of how I went with it. And then there's my little mummy guy. And then I think I just decided I didn't want her on the back one. I don't know why. I just felt like she shouldn't be right at the end. That's just kind of how I went with this decision. And then it goes on to that one, like that. And then this is why it takes a bit more effort to turn them over to stick these down, which is why I feel I should probably have stuck them down before I put them in. But, you know, you learn lessons as you go with these things. As I say, it's the first time I've ever actually made one of these. So, you know, I think it's a pretty good crack at it to start with. So there's all of them stuck down in place. And then the next bit I'm going to do is start adding a couple of bits on. So this is the backing panel. So I'm just popping lots and lots and lots of tape on there to make sure that it does not move at all once it's stuck down. And I'm putting that kind of closer at the top because I want my sentiment banner to go underneath. So that's that bit stuck down. Then to stick down the actual oh, I'm doing my pull tab next. Who knew? So just popping a bit of glue on the back of the bit that has the arrow on it, and then just lining those up just to stick that in. I think I did that one there just so it would be ready to be nice and dry by the time I put it on. So I've decided to do my sentiment next, just so that it is all ready. So I'm going to heat emboss this in black. So I've stamped my image in VersaFine, and then I am popping my clear embossing powder over the top of that. And then I just need to get my heat tool out and my tweezers to hold it because it gets really hot, and I don't like holding things that small with my hands because it really is hot and it burns my fingers and I don't like it. I love the effect. Hate it when I burn my fingers. So that's the sentiment all done. And as you can see, it's got that nice bit of shine from being heat embossed. And then I'm just going to quickly clear that off because obviously it is a pigment ink, so I don't want it to mess up my stamps. And it was just the stamp from Bugs and Kisses from that stamp set. I think I had originally thought I was filming the start of me doing that section, and I didn't, and I don't know why. I think I forgot to press play. So I'm just working out exactly where that's going to be positioned. Now, to stick it down, it is only stuck down by those two little flaps that are sticking out, kind of like to make it a T. So it's literally just those two teeny flaps. At this point, I was trying to decide what tape to use on these. I had a nightmare trying to work out what to do with them. I'm not going to lie, because I didn't have any of my really super strong. So I decided to go with my good old tape pen again. So they just get wrapped around the mechanism. So it all hugs together and then centered onto there. I think I got that pretty straight. I'm quite pleased with that. So that's those on there. I'm just putting the lids back on everything. And then I am putting some glue onto there so I can stick my little pull tab down. Like so. And then you need to give that a bit before you start playing with the actual effect. So there you go. See, look, it flips. I hadn't fully stuck it down as tight as I needed to, I think. There you go. As long as you're not aggressive with it, it works absolutely perfectly. I think it just needed a bit more of a squish down to stick down. And then I'm using foam pads to stick up my sentiment just on the bottom, because obviously it needs that little bit of a lift to go against the height that you get from the Flippin' Awesome. So there's my little sentiment and my foam pads, and that, once it's on there, is that card complete. I am super chuffed with it. It is absolutely, I think, adorable, and I'm sure the people that are getting this will love it. I just decided to pop some black down on the back there just to take away some of the whiteness. I did decide to put some writing on there at some point, but it didn't go on the video, so you know. But once that's in, and just make sure you tuck it behind that bottom flap as well, otherwise it will stick out and you don't want that. But once that's in there and all nice and secure, that is the card done. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's the first time I've done one like this, so please subscribe. Bye guys.